Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh. Welcome in. We appreciate everybody waiting for us. We just were live at noon and it was just like, I just flicked the switch and there it is.
We were gone.
Holy cow. All right, everybody, welcome. I'm Amy Bachman Sew and Quilt at amysews.com, and with the mega talented Jim Suzio here. And Jim is my right hand at Amy Sews, and he also teaches for the original sewing and quilt.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're excited you're here tonight. We know that Serger is a very scary beast, right? So yes, someone, Carolyn said at Amazon Web Services, it has been nuts today on the internet.
On the
It's
East
not
Coast,
been itself. It just because they knew I was going live. That's why they did it on purpose. So, hi from Colorado, Kansas. We got everybody in here. I am super excited. Woo! Super duper. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to work you through kind of Serger best practices. Jim and I was laughing. Jim said not to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. We decided there's over 80 years serging experience between the two of us. So that's what we're going to do tonight, is share some of that knowledge. So here's the big thing. We believe this, whether we're doing this kind of a class or doing live at Amy Sews. I don't care if your serger is $200 or $20,000, right? You're going to be able to get through these projects. Now, some of you have cover stitch, chain stitch, which changes the game up a little bit. But when we plan a class, it's to the most basics, right? 2, 3, 4 thread sergers. Yep. And so we're going to start out just with some pieces and parts, right? Like the terminology that we're going to use, the care, the needles, the threads. We want you to take that dang thing out of the box, dust it, whatever you got to do, and get busy. Yeah. Hey, Reen from Embroidery Gardens on. Hey, Reen.
Hey, Reen.
So we have 2 different sergers that we're going to be working with today, and lots of samples for show and tell. I guess we probably need to show the threads and we explain the upper.
So back up a little bit.
Yeah, I think we'll back up a little bit. So we're going to make you kind of nauseous today, I think, with the camera. So
or I'll just hold it.
You just hold it. Jim's is going to hold it. So hi, Karen. So anyhow, when you look at your serger, most people have 4 threads, right? You have a left needle. I'm scooch close. Left needle, right needle, upper looper, lower looper. And the upper and lower loopers are what cover the top of the fabric and the bottom of the fabric. And we're going to get there in a minute. These, do not think of these as tension discs because we don't want any tension. They're stitch formers. Every time you change one, your stitch looks a little different, right? Okay, that's an easy way to look at it. But if we're going to go through, like I said, this is my 35th year in business. I've had a serger for 40 years. And these are just some best practices that we see in the store all the time where people make mistakes on threading and getting good tension. The first thing you have to do when you thread a serger is always press your foot up. Always. Okay. Now, the Bernina serger we have behind there is fancy smancy. You push a button, it threads itself and all that good stuff. Automatic tensions, automatic everything. So we're not too worried about her. If you're fortunate enough to have a top line Bernina, top line Baby Loft, top line Juki, top line Janome, top line of everything, then you may be a tad bored with this, but it's still good things you need to know because there is some manual threading if things go bad with those big sergers, right? So when we thread from scratch, well, first thing we'll talk about the pieces and parts. This one has a particular knob on top. This is pressure foot pressure, how heavy your foot pushes down on your project. When do we change those? We change those real fine baby gauge knits, heavy fleeces, right? But if your knob is not marked, you need to put a little piece of tape right here on the knob and on the case so you know where to go back to.
Yeah,
because
go back to original.
There's no numbers there, right? And all tensions, 0 is 0 and 9 is the highest tension, right? Your different knobs. Right. Not everybody will have the same number across here. I could give 4 sergers out, 4 identical 4s, and they'll have different tensions, right? So that's just the way that is. So needles for your serger, you must use what your serger recommends.
Right.
Some sergers say, well, we just usually standard sewing machine needles. Perfect. That's great. Good for you. But usually there is somewhere inside the case that tells you what number to use. These are HA1SPs. There's ELX needles. It's so important that you use the right needle for your serger. All right. This has exposed stitch length and differential feed. Okay. Stitch length is exactly as it is in your sewing machine. The smaller the number, the shorter the stitch. 2.5 to 3 is normal with your serger on everyday fabric. And then we change that according to the weight of the fabric or if we're doing something decorative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Differential feed. So differential feed works a little differently than your sewing machine. Your sewing machine, most of them have a box feed system. So the front and the back move at the same, here we go, at the same pace, right?
Mm-hmm.
Differential feed lets you change the ability to make I can't do it.
Want me to do it?
Yeah. Can you do it?
Because you have them in sync together.
There you go.
Because they're
Not
actually
coordinated.
split in half.
Right.
And then sometimes one moves different, like at a different motion
Right.
to if it's going to gather in or if it's going to stretch out.
Yeah. So like 1 or 0 is neutral.
Right.
The higher the number, it's going to gather your fabric. So it's going to move faster in that back position. Good job, Joe. And if it's below 1, it's what we call negative. It's going to stretch your fabric out.
Yeah.
The question is, how do I know which is which?
Yeah.
You're going to do the opposite of what's happening to your fabric. If your fabric is gathering, you're going to tell your differential feed to stretch it out. You're going to go below 1. If your fabric is stretching like a real fine baby gauge knit or a silk or something like that, you're going to say, hey, gather that seam up, crank, just a little bit, one notch at a time. Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing extreme in your serger. You're not going to go to 1 to 9, 1 to 9, 0 to 2. it's one little notch, baby notch. My other tip is change one thing at once. Just one at a time. Don't change all 4. It's like the car game on The Price is Right.
Yeah.
One at a time. You don't change all 4 and then go back and guess where all 4 is supposed to go again. Okay. So that's.
Yeah. Because that one adjustment can fix all the problems.
It can fix all the problems, right? That's exactly right. So once we get through what our differential fees are, and this is standard or roll hem, right? So that changes. This is a tension fix, not a mechanical fix. This tightens your tension for roll hem. That's just standard sewing. Okay, so yours may be in a different knob. You may not have it. And again, if you have a fancy dancy serger, this is all automated, right? Yes. I have to say, I never have picked a serger brand before, right? I have a Janome serger at home, but I will tell you that this Bernina L890 is the first time I have ever sold a serger where the company hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
Everything about it is good. So, but there's a lot of great sergers out there. All right, so let's take a look. Over here, you have your 2 needles, left needle, right needle. And as you remove one, it changes how your stitch looks. You take out the left one, you have a skinny or maybe even a roll hem. You have to check your manual. Some machines are different. Take out the right one, and I have a 3-thread, which is what we normally do for knits, is a 3-thread. Because in the next serger box coming out, we're doing cotton knit PJ bottoms, right? Yep, so that's what's doing. Yes, if you got on late, we are just getting started because we have a little rough patch with the with the equipment and the internet this evening. So each of these have a particular threading path. Every serger has this little diagram somewhere. Some of you have little cheat sheets that you fold out that shows the threading. When you are starting from scratch or a thread breaks, needle thread breaks, a looper thread breaks, you're going to unthread it and start from scratch. What happens when you try to patch thread, which means this thread breaks, you put it in, there's thread wrapped around your loopers, you sew 5 stitches and it breaks, 5 stitches and it breaks, and you want to poke yourself in the eye. We don't want any eye poking. Okay. So what we like to do is I rather would start from fresh.
Yep.
Upper looper first, lower looper. Do you have a preference on your needles?
Right needle, left needle.
Right needle, left needle, right.
The way helps me to remember is you have this telescoping wand up here that holds your thread tails. And that's like my center divider, my highway. I work from the center to the right, then the center to the left.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
That's a great way to
So
look
if
at
I
it.
do it that way, I know I'll have it threaded in the right order. because like Amy said, if you would transpose these two or any one of them, they interlink and it doesn't make a correct stitch.
Right.
You're going to tie your, like you said, just going to tie it in a knot and break.
Right. And I always tell people your serger, you finished it when you're ready to throw out the window. And one more time, it's perfect. And then you got that all behind you, right? That's the way it is. Now, we know some sergers are easier than the others. It's not like, I'm not going to say they're all easy because some of them aren't. All right.
Can I mention one thing too?
You keep talking, Jim. You're good.
Whenever you're talking about your needles and everything, anytime you go to change your needle, make sure a door is open. And the reason for that is that every serger has an override. If a door's open, the machine will not operate.
Right.
So that way there's no chance if you happen to accidentally hit your foot control, it will not sew with the door open. So there's no chance of getting hurt with a needle.
Right. Unless you have an incredibly old serger. But then
even the old ones have that.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm just taking off the pressure foot, standard pressure feet. They are not all the same. If you want to go to order a foot off of Amazon, you can make sure it fits your make and model, because I will tell you, this little pin that's right here where it snaps on is different on every brand,
and
every
the width
model.
of the spacing's different.
It's crazy. Yes, it's not a good thing. So you have your blades, right? Now this is both lower blades. This guy open? This cabinet doesn't open.
No.
So you have your upper blade. So this is what we call the upper blade. It looks like a little cobra. Its head pokes up over the top. The lower blade is stationary and is equal and level with your throw plate.
Mm-hmm.
If your lower blade has dropped down below your throw plate, you're going to get chews. It's going to chew your fabric, chew your fabric, chew your fabric. Blades don't last forever. Okay.
That's true.
Especially if you are a polyester fleece sewing
You go
machine.
through them like crazy.
Crazy. And if you have an older serger, my recommendation is see your dealer, order blades, just keep them in your accessory box.
Yep.
We've reached a point now, some blades we cannot get for sergers. So
especially like the older ones where the blade's mounted on the top arm and it comes down.
Yes, exactly. So there's a top blade that kind of just dangles here. And sometimes that guy is in the way. And if you change it yourself, there's a little measuring tool that these have to be identical, or the first time you turn the hand wheel, it saws the blade off and it is dull.
Yeah.
So that's just precaution. So down inside here are what we call stitch fingers. What's your take on stitch fingers?
My take on stitch fingers, make sure that if you are doing like your basic serging, that your stitch finger is fully engaged. A lot of newer ones have a little slide tool that you can go from rolled hem to standard sewing. Older ones have a throat plate that you would change.
Right.
And also to check to make sure that the stitch finger is still there, not snapped off.
Right.
It was very easy to do on the older ones.
Right. And so it's like 3 pins. There's a fat one and 2 that look like needles that are soldered in here. Those stay, but they can be stitched off. If you get a jam and yank, you're going to lose those stitch fingers, and that's difficult. This stitch finger is removable. That's from narrow hemming to wide hemming to sewing back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's, some of you have a slide lever. Some of you have a knob on the side.
And then some have it where you have to physically remove the stitch finger.
Right. And so some, again, have a knob on the side. Some of you have a little slide here or a little slide here. That moves, it's kind of hard to see in the video, but it's moving the blade left and right. That is called, it's not stitch width like we do in sewing machines. That's called bite. B-Y-T-E, bite.
Oh,
right?
I just thought it was cutting width.
No, it changes the bite.
Ooh,
right?
Changes
the bite because the width, I want to say this would make sense. On a mechanical machine, and that's what I consider, this is mechanical. When you change the width, yes, does it make your stitch wider? But it does, but it's really for when you're sewing and your loops are falling off, you change the bite, how much it cuts off, right? So it's also an adjustment, not just a stitch width. It's a fine tune adjustment as well. So that's kind of the scoop with that. So tensions change, differential feed can change, and your stitch width bite can change, right? Those are the 3 things you have to kind of pay attention to. Oh, let's talk to. I know I called them stitch formers earlier. So let's talk about tensions, James. Okay, so the left needle, right,
Mhm.
controls the seam. So off, pull it. If it opens up, you see a bunch of ladders.
Yep.
That's your needle.
All right, there's a little pick stitch.
Go for it, Jim.
Right here.
Yeah.
Let's,
The switch was switched.
yeah, switch this over.
Yeah, switch back. Oh, dang it.
Number 3.
I'm teasing them with all those
There
samples.
you
I keep
go.
hitting the wrong button.
Okay, so this dial controls the left needle, and this one will control the right needle. So if I'm working on a project and I want to be having matching threads, you can never always get that same exact shade of serger thread like our fabric, but you can sewing machine thread. So in that case, if matching it is really important to me, where I'm concerned about if there's stress on the seam and it should open a little bit and I see my needle stitching, then this is the one I will have my matching thread in. So I would remove this cone and I would use like a spool of sewing machine thread to put in, and that will be in my left needle to replace that seam stitch. But that's the only one I put it in, because if I do it in all 4 of them, it makes a thick, bulky, expensive seam.
Yes, very much so.
Because those little spools are kind of pricey compared to a cone of thread.
Right.
And it's also has to deal with the thread ply, because these are all 2 ply. And when you add the 2, 4, 6, 8 plies, makes that one seam. If I use sewing machine thread that's 3 ply, that's 3, 6, 9, 12.
Right.
So it's a lot heavier seam.
And if you use something like Coates and Clark dual duty, your garment will stand up by itself.
Pretty much.
So be careful of the
It's a
thread.
little heavier.
And you can mix a cone, you can mix a spool, you can add a bobbin. Like if you're like sewing something lime green and I need to cover stitch hem something, one thing, I'll wind a bobbin and drop some bobbins on there. Yeah, so you can mix and match. That's fine. The upper looper controls the upper side of the fabric. Do you have anything here?
How does it play there?
It's probably nothing done here.
It's this cone and that dial.
Right.
Is the upper looper.
And that is the upper side.
And that's true on any serger.
Oh, here we go. Just some edge on this one. Okay, so you see on this green here, left needle, right needle, which is kind of like a safety stitch, right? The upper looper is on the upper side and the lower looper is on the lower side. And you want your upper and lower looper to match right along your thread end, okay? The lower looper, this guy here, is kind of the bully. And what it does is it yanks everything to the back or lets everything go to the front.
Good way to look at it.
Yeah, it's just a bully. It just likes to control everybody, and you don't have to take that. I'm too old to take nothing from a bully no more, right? So that's kind of where, why those 4 things, everyone has a job to do, right? So it's like 4 people in a rowboat. Number 3 messes up, everybody's messed up. They all have to work together.
Tandem together.
Exactly. So someone said that should see some, I'll show you some samples in a minute, dang it. The other thing is so important with serging. Excuse my hair. I got a haircut. I don't know what happened. You have to keep them clean and oiled. This is not your sewing machine. These are not self-impregnated, oiled ball bearings that when they're warm, they release more oil. That is not your serger, right? So keeping it clean, I want you to use a brush, paintbrush, any kind of brush. Big cotton swabs, right? Now, please ask your dealer or your manufacturer, because Bernina is very specific with what weight oil they want you to use, okay? The majority of us, like on my Janome serger at home, which I really like, any basic serger, the one that we're using here, you can use Triflow, which is a silicone-based lubricant, okay? Again, check with your manufacturer. And then this is just a regular, good, clean sewing machine oil. This is a Zoom spout. So you can get back in there where those collars and loopers are, okay? Does that make sense? So you want to be very careful. You're gonna say, where do I oil? Open your trap doors, turn your hand wheel, anything that moves. There's a shaft that goes in a collar. Make sure you get inside that and I put 1 drop above my needle bar where my needles are, and I sew some jump fabric through there. Can you get to the bottom of your serger? It depends how complicated it is and how mechanically talented you are, right? That's between you and your serger. If they haven't, every 8 hours, I will clean, oil my serger, and change my needles.
Can I use canned air?
On this particular serger, you probably could get away with it because there's no electronics. If you have electronics, no, canned air, sewing machine, serger, whatever it is, that's a no. Now,
and the reason is there's water in the canned air.
right, that freeze that comes out, the propellant, actually dries your oil up, and it dries everything up. So it's not healthy.
It's not
right?
good.
You don't want to breathe it, and you don't want to use
Yeah.
it on your serger. So that's the scoop. All right. Do we have any questions about pieces, parts, cleaning? Are we good? Okay. All right. So Miss PJ is in the comment section hanging out, helping us post links and things. So if you see PJ pop something up, that's because she's allowed to. Nobody else can post any other links. Now, if you are watching this is October 20th, 2025. It's going to live on Amy Sew's YouTube and Amy Bachman Sew and Quote YouTube. Facebook pulls the videos after 30 days. So just so you know, it will be there if you are jumping in late or you just found us at all. Okay, how about we show some pretty things we can do? So everybody thinks, oh, your serger is a one-trick pony. It seems overcast, trims away. Amy Sews and our Power Serger subscription box. No way, Jose. We are not basic.
It's not your mama's serger.
We are not your mama's serger. We are not basic people here, right? So this was, I never remember what month we do anything. Now, I always say it's about the process, not about the project. Okay. If you don't like the colors, you don't like the project, I get it. I can't please everybody. However, it's about the process, right? So this was a rolled hem woven technique that Jim did. And regular piecing, right? Serger piecing. Utility quilts are very nice to put together with your serger. Now this one's a little fancier. This is we call it a cathedral window?
Yeah, it's a cathedral window.
Right. So.
And we used a couple different threads at one time because where you see that heavier cream thread, that was a heavier decorative thread. And so that was on, let's say, the upper looper, and the lower looper, I used a fusible thread so that once it was seamed together, I can go ahead and fuse those cathedral window panes open like that. Yes.
So decorative thread, your serger loves decorative thread. So I have done as much as put baby yarn through, whether it's a woolly thread, which is fluffy, or this is a crown rayon pearl.
Yeah,
it's
kind of
something
pearl
like that.
thread.
It's like a 12 weight, maybe a 10 weight. Anyhow, this is one of the things that we did. This is kind of similar-ish.
It's a larger size.
Yeah, larger size. And this is with variegated thread.
And the variegation in the thread actually does the color striping like that.
Right.
So you get those bars
again,
through it.
Upper looper.
Yep.
Right. So that was pretty cool. And so Susan said, I hope your Serger subscription box opens for new members soon. Well, guess what? It is. We finally opened it back up. You have till the end of the month. PJ will post the link. Your first box is half off. So if you join tonight, your first box is half off. And we will get you started. There's class only, and then there's class with the supplies. It's your call, right? So whatever you want to do, you can test us out. If you hate it, just unclick us and move on.
Yeah.
I doubt that. We have very little cancellations, so that's why we don't open it all the time. Now, this is a cover stitch, chain stitch sample. We did this product. I think I have it at home actually, Jim, because I take it when I travel. So this is like a crossbody scarf, and this bag was on there like when you travel. So it's like a warm scarf shawl with a pocket. So this is chain stitching, right? This was fun. Oh, no, chain stitching. Triple chain stitching, right? So that's all decorative.
So basically, it's okay. So this part is actually the reverse of that part.
Oh, that's right. That's the
Yeah, so this is like when you put it through your cover
cover
stitch,
stitch.
you would see the triple cover doing the straight lines of stitching. And then when you flip it over, you then have the cover stitch looper creating that braided effect. So by this way, we have a two-tone look of the lighter stitching and then the heavy bars. And it's just the wrong side of that.
Right. So the question was variegated thread on the far left. It's upper, no.
It was the
looper.
upper looper. So
Number
that was,
three.
that was us. Yes, spool number
Spool
three.
number 3, right? So left needle, right needle, upper looper, decorative
Yep.
thread, lower looper, right? Now setting up for chain stitching and stuff was a whole different. This was one of the fun classes that we did, making this kind of cosmetic bag. So we gathered using our differential feed on the serger, which was really simple to do, and then chain stitch quilting. And yes, the zipper was put in with the serger. Yes, Miss Ring, we put the zipper in with the serger. So that was a good class. That was fun.
And it's fully lined too.
Oh, that's right. I'll open it up. Yes. So Jim is a terrific technician. So he has these ways that hide all the seams, all the insides.
So even though it was done on the serger, we kind of hid all those
We
things.
kind of hid everything.
Well, I like the touch you put that bow on there too.
That was a Make It Monday. This little bow. It's kind of hard to see because it's the same fabric. This little bow tie for your zipper pulls. It's kind of fun. All right, what else? So this was just a flip and strip as you go and put together with the serger. Okay, and then this is the faux wave stitch that I did. If you don't have a fancy wave stitch serger,
and I like it. It looks very organic looking.
very
with it.
organic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a little manual trick that I teach people how to do. This is a poncho we did out of gauze. Again, I travel a lot and sometimes you just need enough. Jim tie-dyed this. Everybody got white fabric and Jim tie-dyed his. This was a roll hem class to get perfect roll hem on super thin fabrics. Hey, Cheryl, PG just posted a link. It's amysews.com. It's automatic. You don't need a code or anything. Look at
And Elizabeth, actually the pattern for the bag came in one of the previous boxes.
Yes. So should I tell them? You'll have access to some of the previous classes.
Yeah.
I don't tell people that, but there's just I put a few bonus classes in there to get you caught up. So that's just as a thank you. Look at this beauty. I'm gonna do it this way. It doesn't do it justice. Look at that. This is one of Jim's creations. This is a bolster pillow. The ruching was done in the serger. Piping was done in the serger. The whole thing was made on the serger.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely stunning. I agree with story time with Cece. I don't want to know what kind of story she tells, but hopefully it's children's stories.
Yeah.
Let's keep it at that. And yes, roll hems, cotton, not a problem. You hit gauze, you hit maybe like a denim and shreddy, chatty. It's all different. I don't know why my camera's flashing, so hopefully that doesn't go bad. Look at these pumpkins. This was a Jim creation. Look at that. All these wedges, flat locked.
Flat lock, yep.
And look at the stem. That's all done with serger thread. Now I will say we probably busted out the scan and cut to make the leaves
Yeah.
because we love our scan and cut here too, right? So here's the pumpkins. Here's another one. This fabric is inside out.
Yeah. So that was like the reverse of the dark orange one. So it's a raw pumpkin. It's fresh.
It's fresh.
It's a baby one.
Yeah. I do have the pumpkin samples. These are the pumpkin samples. Yeah. Oops.
And I just kind of like actually it's, these stems are basically flat locked over some batting. It's a little technique I came up with. So they're all freestanding.
So what we do here is not the norm,
Yeah.
right? We just don't like say, oh, we're going to make this. There's always the learning path to that. There's always
And we push the edge of the, whatever.
more than the envelope. We
Yeah.
don't even have a box here.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to our serger. This tote bag was a Benartex kit that we got in. totally constructed inside and out with the serger, with some fun techniques. The handles, look at these handles. These handles were genius that Jim did. These, the blue folds through and put the serger on them. Anyhow, it's a long discussion, but it's pretty fabulous.
And it looks good with the added trim of stitching on it.
It does. Whoops, let's throw that over here. So basic stitching, right?
Another wow.
Nancy did these. This is a pattern. I think this is Sookie Sews. I want to say that's what it is. We're getting ready for easy gifts to make. One of our big, hey, Benita.
Tomato.
I know.
She's a great lady.
She's awesome. So this, look how beautiful this is. This is all decorative cover stitching. She did it on her Bernina serger.
Yeah.
And look at that. This is her own pattern. This is the one that we're going to, no, next one's her own pattern. Look how gorgeous that is.
Just by changing the fabric base and same technique.
Exactly. So did not use the belt loop accessory. We don't do a lot of accessories. If we do, we show them, and we show that in a separate video. So if someone doesn't have any of that fancy stuff, then they don't have to watch the video. Sometimes we break them down.
Or what we may do is like show a technique done with an accessory. And then if you don't have the accessory, this is how you can get something close to that same look.
Right. We try to get you through without a lot.
Yeah.
And thank you, Benita. This is Amanda Murphy. I knew it was somebody this pattern.
She would know.
She would know. And then this is a combination
like
Nancy did with her scanning cut and her serger. Look how beautiful that little kind of boxed finish is. But, and should I say this is Nancy's first serger?
Yeah.
She's had her serger maybe a month. And this is what
she's hooked.
She's hooked. And it does amazing, amazing things. So, all right, now that you get to see some of the things we do at Amy Sews for the Serger subscription boxes. And that was not a class. Now, easy gifts to make, a celebration of giving is something we do in store in the house. It's our favorite day of the year. About 100 guests come and we show off some cool projects. You go home with a USB with some freebies, and we show some things the staff does and in-house does. And it's embroidery, scan and cut, sewing, serging, quilting. It's
everything.
Everything. It's that serger binding. It's in a quilt. That is, so the answer to that was no. It's finished and then bound.
Then top stitched pretty much.
Tops, yes.
Yeah.
Vicki, you're far away, but after it's November 1st, after we get through that, I may go live and do it virtual. I just have to work that out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, just on a thought. So last month we did a free scan and cut class like this.
Mhm.
This time we're doing serger because we finally opened the boxes up for new guests because there's only so many supplies on the planet.
Yeah. That's the big culprit in limiting the enrollment is because you want to make sure everybody gets something.
I can't source things fast enough. Do you want to show your Argyle thing?
You want to give them a sneak peek?
Right? So this is what is today? This is October. So November a box goes out, and I will tell you we sourced beautiful 100% cotton knit fabric from Amanda's Bundles, and you get a PJ bottom pattern. We're gonna do a PJ, how to sew elastic with your serger, the whole 9 yards. This is January's, right? So, and this is going to go on a sweatshirt. This is making your own Argyle. Now this is done with cover stitching, right?
Yeah.
So
no, this was all done.
Oh, that was flat lock.
All of it is like basic 3-thread flat lock.
If I took my glasses off my forehead and put them on my eye, they probably would work better.
But this again is one of the ones that anybody can do it because
can do
it's basically it was pieced using 4-thread.
Yeah.
And then flat locked to get the Argyle effect with that. So that's like a small version.
Yeah.
And then we have a mid-sized version. Now this was all sewn together with 4-thread and then Argyle.
Right.
And this one, everything was done on the outside, all with flat locking to get a different twist on the Argyle look.
Right. And you're going to get thread in the charm pack.
Yep.
And something else. I can't remember. Tape, the double-sided tape.
Yeah. And then this is like a larger version because we're going to come up with a technique that we're not going to share right now.
Right.
Okay.
She's on a mission.
So that's like the larger version. Again, it was all flat locked together and then flat locked Argyle on top of that.
Right. So you just have to provide a sweatshirt. So
yeah,
when we open the box next November's class is not going to be difficult, right?
No.
Because if I threw you into, let's make a dimensional pumpkin, you're going to make your own thread tails, you would fall over and pass out.
It wasn't that tough.
We're going to get you warmed up, right? First. Also, all right. So I did put some fabric in there. Do you want to show them how you stop and start your thread
Using the back stitch?
and the back stitch, because we don't have a back stitch. But while Jim's setting up for that, there's a couple tools, good tweezers, a double-eyed needle for pulling in tails, unless you do it the Jim way, then everything's fine. And let's see, your oil, your cleaners. Let me shove the Bernina back, maybe.
How's that?
There we go.
Is it good?
I'm gonna get a little closer. You do your thing. I'm gonna move the camera.
Okay.
I'm gonna make everybody dizzy.
Actually, I was just showing this again the other day in my Serger class.
I know. So Jim does a lot of Serger classes at
So-
the original Sewing and Quilt Expos.
Yeah, so just go to sewingexpo.com and you can see what stitching I'm into next. Okay, so I want to sew, and I always start with a chain. So my foot down, got my chain going. Everything is all knitted together, so I know I'm good. And I do want to trim off a little bit because I want to get rid of the pokies and all that fun stuff. And
Just watch your left hand. I'm sorry.
I'm in at I'm at the beginning of my seam and I want a back stitch, but there's no button.
No reverse button. No.
So I'm going to lift up on my presser foot, take that thread tail, pull a little, just snug. I don't want to rip it out. I just want to make it where it's more of a like a cord, bring it to the front, and I like to put it above it so that my blade doesn't cut it. And I'm off to this side of that little divider here. That way I know it's not going to cut my thread right now. And I serge over it, and now I'll let my serger cut it off. Right over him. There, now I'm under, I cut it off, and I'll serge down here. And I just get to, sometimes I'll even turn my hand, we'll make sure I'm out of the fabric. So I'm right at the very edge of the fabric, my needle's up, presser foot up, I pull back slightly, pivot, flip it, bring it back at a slight angle because I don't want it to cut this time. And I'm going to lightly pull up on all my threads to get rid of all that slack.
Yeah, right. So he's right that
Little
first
loops back
pre-tension
here.
guide, and he's pulling back a little bit.
So I'm just and I can do this while my presser foot lifter is up. Lower the presser foot, go forward, and right off. And I got both ends secured.
Right. Instead of like pulling the threads up through the loops when you're done.
Yeah.
Now I will paddle on it a little bit.
Uh-oh.
On this particular serger, lowering the blade is not pleasant. On the higher end sergers, there's a little slide, you slide and the blade goes down.
Yeah.
Jim drops the blade, so you get no extra tails whatsoever. So it does look a little neat. That Susie Lorkovic. I love her. She's going on our sewing cruises with us.
Oh, cool.
Miss Susie.
Hey, Miss Susie.
So what do you think about using compressed air or
No.
vacuum tools?
No compressed air, yes for vacuum tools.
We love the vacuum tools,
Yeah.
right? That little mini vac attachment is
that works great because it's pulling everything out of your serger. When you use the canned air, it can blast it further into your serger, and it puts moisture inside it, and you could rust some of the gears too.
Yeah, and Vicky says, "Oh, I was working the booth, and she didn't get to go to your classes." So
I know, I'm sorry, but at least I got to meet her and catch up a little bit.
exactly. So, does anybody have a question, a technique? I do have. We got a little piece of. Oh, here, talk about your piping, James. There's your candy cane piping.
Okay, this was a Make It Monday about 3 weeks ago. So you can go back and watch
On
that
Facebook, yeah.
on Facebook
And
or
YouTube.
YouTube. And, oops,
Make sure you subscribe and follow us, right? The world
Yeah.
rotates around our social media account.
So basically what I did was I took pre-finished red piping, ran it through my serger to make the piping like we normally do, then ran it through a second time with a heavier thread. I used spaghetti thread as a 2-thread, and I serged it a second time, and it actually candy cane stripes my piping.
So you made your piping.
Yep.
Right.
So the red fabric piping was that done first. And you can kind of see the inside if I open it up. So I got my pipe. So it's fabric piping that was made. And then went ahead and serged it using spaghetti thread in the lower looper, and I put on my 2-thread converter, which means it took the lower looper thread from the bottom up on top. The needle then sewed it in place, and then it came back down around to the back side again.
Right. So 2-thread again is especially serger. Normally you have a 5-thread serger.
Yeah.
It does too. A lot of 2, 3, 4-thread sergers out there. Did you use a piping foot? Because that's really thick.
No.
Okay.
Because as just that's using the piping, but when I did this, the piping foot actually would sew it this way. That's because the piping's here. I actually used like a beading foot because then the groove's on this side. So that would work with it. Because if I put a traditional piping foot, the hump that goes over all the cording would be on the opposite side. The best way to do it is go back on YouTube or Facebook and watch Make It Monday a couple weeks ago.
Right. If you go up to videos or live videos, you'll see all our tips in there.
Yeah.
If you just search Amy Sews pipe, serger piping, I think it'll pop right up. I would hope so. So this piece right here is the difference when you see 3-thread, 4-thread. When you remove a needle, what happens is, see how narrow it gets? We talked about, we're taking out that left needle. The serger stitch is the same. So if I'm making doll clothes, shears, something I can't handle a wide seam allowance, I just don't use my left needle. So.
And Jennifer's asking about doing a double hem. What do you mean exactly by double hem?
Double hem, a shortened polyester shirt. It's my serger. Yeah, just a little more information than that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by double hem, but I bet we can.
So some of the different threads, right, that are available. This is what we used to call it woolly nylon, and now that's not the name anymore. Now it's called stretch thread. It's like what they make pantyhose out of and lycra nylons and things like that. That's my favorite thing for a rolled hem because we put it in the upper looper and it fills it so nice and it rolls over. This is called stretched hem now.
And if you watch how it got like a fine thread and now it's like baby yarn.
Right. And again, that is a stitch tension adjustment because your serger does not know you've got heavy thread in it.
Right.
And the other one is that crown pearl, the purple, like you did with this.
Yeah. So again, so this is a type of thread that was put in the upper looper, and then I put fusible thread in the lower looper. And that way, whenever after it was sewn on the machine or chain stitched, then each petal was then folded over and then pressed in place, and that's what holds it in position.
Right.
So I didn't have to restitch it.
Perfect. Yeah, so there's so much fun things you can do with your serger, right? Whether it's practical, like the PJ bottoms we're going to make, or it's, we don't do garment all the time, right? I would say every 4th box, maybe we've done a garment. We've done a sweatshirt. We've done a hoodie.
We did leggings.
We did leggings. Really, this is only our 3rd garment.
Yeah.
We did a t-shirt, I think. Anyhow, so it's not all about garmenting, right? So
a lot of it's just a technique.
Yes. So for those of you, a couple of people have already signed up. For those of you who have signed up for the Serger subscription, right, you will get November's box, which is the PJs.
And yes, Vicki, the cathedral window was in the Serger Club.
Yeah, everything we're showing you except the trees Nancy did were in the Serger Club, right? And you can go back I think a couple of videos and catch some of the older ones just to kind of get you warmed up a little bit to kind of what we do. Everything we do is kind of lighthearted. So now that you're going to get a pattern, it's a downloaded printable pattern, 3 yards of cotton, 2 yards of elastic. Your little tip sheet that you fill out, like all your settings and everything, and then how to access your classes. So we try to make the box kind of complete. Like when we do the cathedral windows, you're going to get a charm pack, 2 spools of thread, some interfacing, right?
Yeah.
Teresa, you just go to Amy Sews. PJ will drop the link in a second. It goes right in your first box. It's half price and it's automatic. You don't have to have any code, anything. We're excited to get more people. Oh, the wreath. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Of all things, this was this the last project? Jim and I get so confused because we try to work 3 or 4 months ahead. And I'm like, oh, I forgot
the
about that.
Serger wreath.
So this was all done on the Serger. And again, you're gonna like, Amy, come on. I don't want to hang that up. Well, I think it's kind of pretty, but this was about one of those techniques. It's all about the process, not the project. So we did flat lacing, flat
Flat locking.
lock lacing. We did pearls by the yard. We did roll hem. Jim does this incredible, I hate to use
Wired-
pipe cleaners, but
It's,
Chanel stems.
we'll say wired ribbon with
wired
Chanel
ribbon.
stems.
Jim made the ribbon for the
So it has a
bow.
puffy edge.
Right. Yeah. So you got the ring, 2 yards of fabric, the Chanel stems, even the little butterfly on there. And then over my shoulder is
The fall version.
the fall version. And it was just rolled hemmed, right? It wasn't. And here's the kicker. I don't care if you make yours all one color, if you spray paint it purple. I don't care if you don't want to do any of it. This is all about you. And it's about us giving you the education to learn it, because Jim and I are passionate. I've been selling sewing machines for a little over 35 years. And sometimes I wonder, are they making anything? Are they doing anything? You know, what's happening? And every time we do a Serger class here, we're back to teaching the basics, because they come to class, they take it home, they shove it under their desk, and then they bring it back out, threaded exactly the way it was from the last class. So thank you, Susan.
Thank you,
I'm
Susan.
so
Welcome
excited.
aboard.
Welcome aboard. We really want you to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You've invested so much money in these Sergers, and they aren't intimidating. Can you make a mess? You can make a mess. Can you really hurt anything? No. Right? And anything we do is not life-threatening. Did I throw something away?
No, I just thought of one thing, because this was your chance to pick on me, and I should have pulled it out earlier.
Okay.
Mrs. Bachman likes to go and make comments about my instruction sheet, because
Oh,
I
I
write
forgot.
novels,
Yes. So that wreath,
45 pages.
45 pages of PDF directions.
And that's because when I would do a step as I was constructing it, I would photograph it and then
Yes.
photograph it. And then and you get big blow ups, and actually to where I may go zoom right into the actual needle, where the needle's like the thickness of my finger. So you
Right.
can actually see where to place the fabric, where to place the pearls, whatever. So
Yes.
there's no question as to what to do. And I haven't had anybody yet go and email us and say, I don't understand this line, because we go into great detail.
Right. And I will say the directions are so well done. It's rare we get an email. Always support at Amy Sews if you need to find us. Like, I'm lost. I'm confused
Yeah.
between the video that you get to watch and the step-by-step directions. There's always something. Yes, Pam, it's great for visual learners. I am a picture person.
And
So
that's why there's a lot of
there's
pictures.
a lot of
I
pictures.
think that one has 87 photographs in it.
Right.
So it was a lot.
Right. And Barbara Murphy says she appreciates
Thank
it.
you, Barbara.
We are, I mean, I think one of the things I'm probably most proud of is not so much what we do, is the
How we do it.
the members just don't go away.
And the members, yeah.
They're in there because it's every other month, right? So you're not totally bombarded every month with something to do.
Oh, great, Kathy.
She puts them on Jim's instructions on books in her iPad. That's a great place to put them because you know where they are.
Yeah, because you get the PDF out.
Right.
So if you are the type that wants paper in your hand, you can print them.
Right.
And if you're comfortable on an iPad, whatever, you just look there. You have both.
Exactly. And it's really nice because everything is held in the Amy Sews library. So you log in, you do your thing. It's always there. If you hang out 3 months, everything stays. 3 boxes, everything stays.
Yeah.
Right. So you can always go back and
And then you
access
can just go
everything.
back and watch the video. And this way you can watch the video, see it done if you didn't understand how it was in print.
Right. So it's
Or vice
always
versa.
the second Tuesday, we show you what's in the box. It's just a live thing.
Mhm.
And then the third Tuesday, you log into Amy Sews and we go live in there. And that's where the video gets hosted. Right. So it's not out.
Thank you, Teresa.
Yay, thank you. It's so exciting. I'm so excited for everybody. We appreciate you and everybody popping in and
Yeah,
watching
like-
what's going on,
Like my
right?
friend Sydney from Washington State
Right.
is on there.
Oh, Sydney, she's beautiful.
Yeah,
So
gorgeous
beautiful.
home, too.
Oh, well, I can't attest to that, but the sewing is beautiful. I can say that. That's good. So I'm just looking. Yes, it's all about learning. It is not about always the project. It's about the
It's
process.
a lot of like the process, the technique.
Right.
And a lot of times the project shows you like the next Serger block after we do the PJs is when I do the Argyle pattern is I'm going to show you different ways of doing that pattern, ending up in different sizes and why that happens. And then show you different ways you can apply the technique into different projects.
Right. Yes. Oh, thank you, Sydney. We
Thanks,
are,
Lynn.
Jim and I are a great pair because like Jim is an amazing technician where he sees things and knows how to build things and put it together. And I'm like, I bet you we could do this.
Mhm.
And I start and Jim finishes it.
Well, it's like usually what happens, you come in and see, I had this idea, and you tell me, and then the girls come in from the store and say, Amy, you're wanted on the floor. So she'll go and leave. And by the time she comes back, I was like, is this what you wanted?
Right. We work really well together. It's the same thing with the scan and cut, right?
Yeah.
Brother scan and cut. We love that.
That's all a lot of fun
That
together.
class is tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's what's tomorrow night.
So. And you're getting a Christmas, Lynn's getting a Christmas box. Yay.
You'll love it.
The product's coming in. We just started wrapping everything. I'm going to lose my mind wrapping all those pieces.
Yeah.
So, but we're excited. So we still have, there's 20 some boxes available. I haven't really put a push on for a while. So you get 25, I'm gonna say 24 gifts. The 25th gift is kind of unusual. It's not something you open. So I'm just gonna tease them with that. So.
Oh, thank you, Darwin. DQ Darwin.
Did this instructions. Oh, and on a totally irrelevant note, the former CEO of Simplicity Pattern, which is Simplicity McCall's Vogue, has come back, purchased the company, and is making changes. So we may get our patterns back. So
That's their goal.
I'm excited about that. So, because I'd rather do garment construction than anything. All these things are fun that we do. Like these different projects are super cool. But in the end, I don't have time to sew for myself. Who am I kidding? But I'd rather do garments. Oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much. We are so glad to have you guys here, paying attention, watching. Support at Amy Sews if you need to get a hold of us. The subscription box, you have to the end of the month to register unless it sells out prior to that. I only have so many spots open. Your first one's half off. You're going to get the November box.
Yeah.
November box, which is the simple PJ. So not too simple because Jim's going to challenge you with the yoga waistband and putting elastic in with your serger.
And making cording.
And making cording, right? So it's not just, nothing's basic here. we can take it as far as we can take it.
But we give you a lot of options too, because like we were saying, we try to base it on like a basic serger, but we often will throw in like maybe some tips on how to do added details, etc., with cover stitching.
Right, exactly.
For those of you that have that.
Right, and we don't use a ton of accessory feet. We do like the gathering foot,
Yep.
the piping foot, because we put our zippers in with the piping foot. And what would you say the other one? We use the beading foot on that wreath.
Yeah, and then like the blind hand foot or accessory that comes with it, usually.
Yes, and that's the scoop.
So we try to do with just what came with your serger, and then maybe this is how you could do it with the accessory that quite often does make it a little simpler.
Right.
But also what other things you could do with that same accessory foot.
Right. And PJ's going to post the link. It's called Front Row Seat. And that's just where your email stays. And when we go live and do a free class, we just send you an email.
Yeah,
So
a little notification. Hey, we're going to be on.
Right. And then you'll get a reminder email that if you haven't signed up for the box, that you better, because it's not going to be open for another 6 months, I guess.
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
If you have an idea of something you would like to make or a technique or whatever, go to support at Amy Sews, and in the subject line, put attention Jim or attention Amy, and that way it gets forwarded directly to us. So if you have an idea for something you'd like to see done, put it there.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yes, Susan, you're gonna like fall in love with decorative covers.
Yeah, you'll love your machine.
So do we explain it for different machines? We really just kind of went over a basic machine. So if you kind of roll back, it'll take 15 minutes for this to upload into Facebook and YouTube, be ready to rewatch.
Yeah.
But we did just use a very basic machine. We have the Bernina L890 right there, but everything there is automatic, right? So I didn't want to.
We were more focused and today on just
the terminology is the same on every serger, right?
Yeah.
The buttons are a little different places, but it's not, I hate to use the word fair, but just to show that Serger.
We went middle of the
Yeah,
road kind of.
exactly.
And same thing like when we do our classes, like for the Serger box, it's kind of middle of the road that basically everybody can do it.
Right.
And then if you have a little more advanced machine that has maybe other features, we do go over, okay, here's another way you could do it if you have a similar model.
Right.
And we don't try to go brand specific, machine specific, is so that everybody can do it.
All right, Virginia. PJ, I'll pop that link into the Serger box. It's really just Amy Sews, one word, amysews.com. Click on subscriptions, and it'll drop right in there. So, woo! Okay, everybody, have a terrific evening. We're so excited. Thank you so much for popping in, and we want to be your place for your brother scan and cut, your Serger classes. Come out at Amy Sews, because sometimes we just do an off the wall class. Oh, all right.
And then also to make it Monday.
Make it Mondays at noon. Absolutely. Pop in and say hello. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful night. And for those of you who just joined Amy Sews subscription, thank you so much. We appreciate you. All right, everybody. Let's what do we say, Jim?
The more you know.
The more you know, the more you
you
sew.
sew.
All right, everybody. Have a terrific night.
Bye-bye.